Scott Agnes was the first to report this. Source also stresses that this tweaked ankle does not affect her return timeline.
As well at fieldhousefiles.com. Let's talk about the fever. Let's talk about the injuries, and let's talk about Caitlin Clark.
Did Caitlin Clark just confirm her comeback after weeks of mystery surrounding her injury? Fans have been waiting for answers, speculating on timelines, and debating whether or not she'd even step on the court again this season. And now, fresh confirmation has dropped that changes everything.
Fans have been highly anticipating Caitlin Clark's return to the court. Will she come back this season? When will she come back this season? And a lot of fans have been so confused by the reporting. Like, what is actually going on with Caitlin Clark?
For weeks, Clark's return was nothing but whispers and scattered reports. Some said she was close. Others claimed she was far away from a return. The lack of clarity kept fans on edge. And now, with Clark finally breaking the silence, the story feels bigger than ever. It's clear, Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA right now. The one fans pay to see, the one broadcasters highlight, and the one who fills arenas home and away. I mean, when Clark's on the court, ticket sales spike, TV numbers jump, and the buzz around the fever feels alive.
Tickets are sold. You certainly would impact TV viewing if she played.
But her absence hasn't just hurt Indiana's box scores. It's shaken the entire league spotlight. Without Clark, that surge of energy and attention the WNBA has been riding suddenly feels dimmer. The league wants its star on the floor, not sitting on the sidelines.
I'm going to stand on the fact that the injury reporting for Caitlin Clark, who is the face of the WNBA, who is the biggest draw in the WNBA, has been absolutely absurd this season. It has been so strange. I get that they're giving her time, and I think they should give her time. They should give her grace. I've been one of the people who's advocating for Caitlin to not come back this season.
And here's the deal. The Fever have been grinding without her, but let's be real, Clark is the engine. Without her shot making and vision, Indiana's offense looks predictable, and the magic feels missing. The fan base knows it, the league knows it, and the players feel it every night. So the question that keeps hanging in the air is this: without Clark, can the Fever actually survive this playoff push? Or are they running out of time waiting for their star to come back? It all started on July 15th when Clark went down with a right groin injury. At first it sounded minor, something that would keep her out for a short stretch. Fans figured she'd miss a week or two and then be right back in the lineup. But as the games passed, the updates stayed vague. There was no clear timetable, no real transparency from the team. And as every week went by, people kept asking, why is Caitlin still not back? That silence built tension, and questions turned into frustration. Anyway, things got even more complicated when August rolled around. On August 7th, during solo training in Phoenix, Clark rolled her left ankle. At first, it seemed like just a tweak, one of those little knocks that heal fast. But then the truth came out when Chloe Peterson broke the news. It turns out that it wasn't just any ankle tweak. It was a bone bruise. That's a tricky injury, one that doesn't heal on a neat schedule. And suddenly Clark wasn't just dealing with her groin rehab anymore. She had 2 injuries slowing her return.
She probably rolled her ankle. She was probably ramping up. Her body is probably still trying to get adjusted. Her timing is probably a little bit different when she's doing different movements and whatnot. And she probably rolled her ankle really hard, and that is what caused the bone bruise.
A groin issue alone is frustrating, but stack an ankle bone bruise on top and you're looking at a double setback. This shifted the timeline from soon to unknown.
It's strange. I think we know the answer. It absolutely impacted her timeline to return.
And you could feel the air shift around the Fever. That sense of waiting for their star turned into worry. Would she come back in time to help them in the most important stretch of the season?
We know Caitlin Clark is dealing with the bone bruise and a groin injury. Will she come back this year? As of right now, we have no clue whatsoever.
I mean, that's where things really started to spiral. What looked like a minor absence had suddenly become the biggest question mark of Indiana's season. Fans had been patient in July, but by mid-August, the silence was louder than ever. The story of Caitlin Clark's injuries wasn't just about bad luck anymore. It was about uncertainty. And the first wave of confusion hit when fans saw Clark listed as a game-time decision for the August 12th matchup against the Dallas Wings. On paper, that looked promising, but in reality, she wasn't even practicing. That made fans wonder, what's really going on here?
It was Caitlin Clark who got injured, tweaking her left ankle. It's a mild bone bruise, but it's something she's had to deal with over the last couple of weeks, and something that is obviously factoring in her potential return here. And
2 respected beat reporters tried to shed light, but their stories didn't match. Scott Agnes reported that the ankle bruise had delayed her comeback, pointing directly at the setback. Meanwhile, Chloe Peterson insisted the ankle wasn't a factor. And yes, the injury has impacted her availability, and the Fever's response didn't help. They put out a statement, but it was vague at best. No timetable, no specifics, just that Caitlin was working hard every day to get back on the court. Here's the thing, that wasn't the clarity anyone wanted. It only made the mystery bigger. Instead of easing fans' worries, it fueled the speculation. Was she close? Was she far? Nobody outside the locker room really knew. Aside from this, you have to think about how this played out for the team's morale. When your star is injured and the updates keep shifting, it's not just fans who get restless, players do too. Everyone was waiting on Clark, but the wait came with no finish line in sight. So the confusion wasn't just about her injury, it became a story about trust, about how much the organization was willing to share, and about whether the media or the team should be believed. And here's where the suspense deepened. Each day that passed without clarity built into the narrative. Would Clark's return be a surprise announcement, or a drawn-out wait until the season slipped away?
With every day that goes by, it gets less and less likely that we will see her back on the court this season.
And the timing couldn't have been worse. While Clark was rehabbing, the Fever's backcourt was collapsing. Ari McDonald broke her right foot and was ruled out for the season. Sydney Colson tore her ACL, another season-ending blow. And just when things couldn't get worse, Sophie Cunningham tore her MCL. So, come to think of it, Indiana wasn't just without Clark. They were without nearly their entire guard rotation. Depth was gone, options were thin, and the pressure on the roster grew heavier with every game. And this is why Clark's absence hit so much harder. She wasn't just missing time, she was missing time while her teammates were falling one by one. The Fever's guard unit looked like it had been gutted overnight. The backcourt was crumbling, and Clark's absence wasn't just noticeable anymore. It was glaring. Every possession felt like proof that they needed her back. Since Clark last played, the Fever have gone 7-6. On paper, that's not terrible. But when you zoom in, it shows a team fighting just to stay above water. Their overall record sits at 19-16, good for 6th place. But here's the deal. They're only 2 games ahead of the 9th place Sparks. That's a razor-thin margin with the playoffs on the line. Every game mattered. And the longer Clark stayed out, the more it felt like the Fever's postseason dreams were dangling by a thread. Fans started wondering, would she be back in time to save them? Or would the playoffs slip through their fingers? Coach Stephanie White finally broke the silence. In a radio interview on Query & Company, she spoke directly about Clark's situation. She said, "Caitlin is doing everything she can to get back." And then she added, "There has not been a timeline because her health and wellness are most important." That was the first real acknowledgement of what was happening behind the scenes. Here's the key part. White confirmed that the ankle injury had slowed Clark's progress. That lined up with what Agnes had reported weeks earlier. For the first time, fans had confirmation that it wasn't just the groin holding her back. The ankle really was part of the story. See, the most important part of this comeback story didn't come from coaches or reporters. It came from Clark herself. According to close sources, Clark has made it clear she's working to come back. She wants to play as soon as possible. She's tired of just being the injured star on the sidelines. Clark doesn't want to just rehab anymore. She wants to be a basketball player again. That hunger is her personal confirmation. She's signaling to fans that yes, she's coming back, as Tyrese Halliburton confirms in an interview.
You know, it sucks that she's been hurt for as long as she has, but just for us to be able to communicate, even in her recovery, we lift at the same time, so it's like just us two in the weight room, so we spend a lot of time together. I guess it's a good thing, but I wish that she was playing rather, but I think it's just good to have each other to lean on in a time like right now.
And that's the mindset that matters. Injuries can drag a player down mentally, but Clark is wired differently. She's been open about her competitiveness, her refusal to settle for sitting out. That's what makes this confirmation powerful. It's her drive showing through. Aside from this, look at the timing. The Fever have just 9 games left in the regular season. Every one of them counts. If Clark returns, she doesn't just add points and assists. She changes the team's entire energy heading into the playoffs. Come to think of it, that's why this comeback feels bigger than just an injury update. It feels like a season-saving moment. The Fever need her, the league needs her, and she's making it clear she's not done yet. So here's the real question. If Clark comes back, can she push the Fever into a deep playoff run? Could her return spark something that takes Indiana from barely holding on to actually chasing a title shot? That's the hope hanging in the air right now. Her confirmation isn't just about being ready to play, it's about shifting the entire narrative of the season. So yes, Clark has confirmed her comeback in the way that matters most, through her actions, her words to those close to her, and her relentless push to get back. And fans are stunned because the moment they've been waiting for is suddenly on the horizon. Clark's comeback isn't just another injury return. It's the storyline that could save the Fever's season and reignite the league spotlight. Her presence doesn't just change games, it electrifies everything around the WNBA. The only question left is this: when Caitlin Clark finally steps back on that court, will it be too late or just in time to shock the world? What do you think? Thanks for watching.